guess we'll have to catch up on Mishnayos tomorrow, as Hashem.
We got 9. I got 9.
9. Ah, there you go. Okay. They do mixed Avos Abanos. They have Avos Abanos over there. Psh, wow, progressive.
It's only because there's no bonus.
Avos Abanos.
Oh, there you go. All right. Can you hear me well? Can you hear me well?
Yeah. The Woodburn Shul. Here you fine.
Okay, I'm by the sands. Okay, so we left off. Where did we leave off? 1 second.
Starting Gemara.
It was starting Gemara. Yeah, it's late. I don't feel bad. It's late for the. Maybe if we finish faster, because it's short Amud Aleph. If anybody noticed, then maybe we'll do a Mishnayos after. We'll see what time we finish. We're at about 10, 12, probably about 15 lines up.
Amar Reb Chia bar Abba?
Yeah, Amar Reb Chia bar Abba, Amar Reb Yochanan. Yeah, about 15 lines up towards the end of the line. Again, we're continuing in the sugyas of Eidos and Shvuas Sheker, and so again, just a chazer. When somebody makes a shvua and he gets caught lying, either because he does it also bahana, I'm saying not bahana, meaning either he's maida or edim or whatever it is, but he's gonna have to pay a keren and a chaimish, and he brings a korban asham. So Gemara is going through all the different scenarios of all the types of tainas where they make shvuas. So v'amar Rav Chia bar Abba, Amar Rav Yochanan, Atayin tainas ganav ba'aveda. If somebody tainas Atayin tainas ganav ba'aveda, meaning he found an aveda, and then but he wanted to keep it, so he said somebody stole it, right? And then he was caught, obviously. So Mashalim Tashume Kefil. Then he has to pay kefil. My timer, meaning he wasn't an actual ganav. He tired tainas ganav. So my timer to sieve I'll call aveda sheyaymar on any aveda what you say. So
wouldn't that depend on whether he? Wouldn't that depend on whether his shomer aveda is kashem kina or kashem sacha?
Why?
If he's a shomer sacha, tain tanis ganav would make him chayiv. So he wouldn't pay kefil. He would be chayiv already the karen.
Yeah. That's true. No, because you have what's it called? List of mezuyin.
That's right? The taina. He would. Oh, if he taina list of mezuyin.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's what he's saying, that by an aveda he's a tainas ganav, he pays kefil, right? So
he didn't. I mean, I don't even know if I'm saying it makes any sense, but when he picked it up, right now he might be mekayim the mitzvah shavs until if he brings it to the guy's house, he's mekayim the mitzvah shavs of Edom, mitzvah saseh. So when he picks it up, and then he decides, I'm not going to give it to the guy. So when he made the decision to steal, he didn't do a ma'aser when he stole it. There's no ma'aser.
And I think that's probably why. That's probably why it's only Tayin Tainas Ganav. Why isn't he Taka Ganav? Why are we calling it a Tayin Tainas Ganav? He's L'chari should be a Ganav. I think maybe that's what you're saying, is that's a pshat.
Yeah, I'm saying he picked up the soccer ball. He was to bring it to the guy. Then his son says, "Oh, Tati, what a beautiful soccer ball." She says, "Okay, your uncle, keep it. We'll keep the soccer ball." So that was a totally different time. It was 2 days after he found it.
Right, and a chanami. I think you're right. That's why he's not an actual Ganav. Mm-hmm. Right? I was wondering, Taka, why is he not considered a Ganav? Now you're answering it. Right? Anyway, so that's what it's saying. So Eisvei, well, I lost the place. Right? It says if a person will give, right? Meaning he gives his item to somebody to watch it. We know that a katan, he can't give anything, right? A katan doesn't have das to give, right? That's the whole issue with the lulav and esrog after the first day to give it to a katan on the first day of how do you give it to the
To your son.
how do you give it to your son? Because you need lachem, it needs to be his. But how do you give it to him? You can't give it back.
How many lines from the bottom?
Right? We are about 10 lines from the bottom. Right? Fine. So Kiyutenish, it says, Ain Nesinas Katan Klum. A Katan giving something is nothing. Ainly Alashanoslu Kishu Katan Vitava Kishu Gadol. Kishu Katan. This is only telling you where he gave it when he was a katan, and the taina, the din happened when he was a katan. Nasnu kishu katan v'tavo kishu gadol minayin. When he gives it when he's a katan, and he asks for it when he's a gadol, how do you know? Tamalaymer ad ha'elohim yavei dvar shneim. That to the Elohim here means judges. Both of their words will come. Dvar shneim ad shetehi nesina v'tviya shaven ke'echad. Until the nesina and the tviya are at the same time. Vim Isa, and if what you're saying is right, that an Aveda, you still can be Mechayev Shua to have Inamik Aveda. At the minimum, it's an Aveda, meaning even if you want to say that a Nesina of a Katan is nothing, but it's not worse than an Aveda, right? Right? So what's up, shot? No, that case is talking about where he ate it when he was a katan. So so meaning he was never even a gadol there. So Mamela, since he was never a gadol, so then it's a problem. Also, Gemara asks, "Avakashu gadol mai hachanami de mishalem." So what are you going to say? That if it was a gadol, then enochanami he would pay? This that you're saying that he's chayiv until the nesin and the tviyah are the same. Listen, why don't we say until the achila and the tviyah are the same? Why? What are you saying? The nesina and the tviyah, it should be when the achila, meaning whenever the guy who's watching it eats it or uses it, and the din should be at the same time. Amalei Tani, so he says, yeah. Say it that way until the achila and the tviyah are the same thing. Rashi Amar loy dami haveda loy dami. Right, the cases are not the same. Meaning, we're all assuming that till now we're assuming that a katan is no worse than an aveda. Right, meaning aveda gets into a guy's hands beheter, so a katan's item is no worse. So aveda kasim b'koyach ben das. An aveda comes from the koyach of a ben das, meaning there was a ben das that was on the other end of the aveda. And this one does not come from the koyach of a ben das. Fine. So next case. So again, a pikodan is if a guy's watching an item for somebody else, and he tainas that it's a gan, that he tainas that it got stolen. This is coming up as Hashem in 2 weeks in the beginning of Mitzvah, the sugya of maida b'miktzas, right? That a person is maida on part of it, right? Which is basically I go to a guy and I say, you owe me $100. The guy says, I don't owe you 100, I owe you 50. Right, so we're saying the same thing. If a guy by a pekadon, we're saying the same thing. If you watch a pekadon with somebody and you told him that he has your pekadon, he was watching for you. So he's not going to be chayiv kefil until he admits to some of it. My timer. Why? Damar krok. It says ki hu zeh. It's because it says ki hu zeh. Right? Well, Pliga de Rab Chia bar Yosef, and it disagrees with Rab Chia bar Yosef. Dam Rab Chia bar Yosef, on Tamar Aleph now, Eruv Parshias Kosav Khan, a very fascinating shita. He holds that it's a mixture of Parshias. right? He basically says, I'm going to read the Rashi here because I don't want to explain this wrong because it can come up, it can sound like apikorsistic, right? He's saying that the words that are in this parsha are in a different parsha. Look at the Rashi. Erev Parsha is top Rashi. Don't worry, as long as we don't do the Tosfos, we stay away from the Tosfos. We could do a Rashi on this stuff. Yeah, Erev Parsha is pasuk shu mi parsha acheres, a pasuk that's in a different parsha. Nisarva bezu got mixed into this parsha. She'ena mekaymoi, that it's not the proper place. Dai kiyuzeh bim kesef talva havalei limechtave. This word kiyuzeh should have been in the parsha of if you lent money. The Hasam Koi, the Ilu Bahach Parshas at the Bikodim, the Loyadov mixes Mechayiv, because it doesn't make sense in this parsha, because in this parsha, he should be Chayiv even if he's not Moedim Mitzvahs, right? So that's what he says. So basically what he says is these words are not supposed to be in the parsha of Bikodim, they're supposed to be in the parsha of Halva. And only by a loive do you say Moedim Mitzvahs is Chayiv Ashua, not by a Bikodim. I'm back in the Gemara now. So again, Erev Parshi is because of the kind of a mixture of Parshis. It's going on the Malva. Malva. And why is Malva different? Because Rabba said, this is going to come up a couple of times above Mitzvah. So it's Kedai to know this. Right, it says, why did the Torah say that a Moedim Mitzvahs a taina has to swear? Meaning you go to a guy and you say, you owe me $100. And the guy says to you, I don't owe you 100, I owe you 50. So then he has to swear. So why? Chazaka, we have a chazaka. A person will not have the chutzpah to lie to his Baal Chayv. Meaning, a guy lent you money. A guy was a nice guy. He lent you money. We don't assume that you're going to have the gall to deny it. But really, he really wants to say that he doesn't own anything. And why didn't he deny it? Because he doesn't have the chutzpah to do that. And because of this, really, he wants to admit the whole thing, even though he doesn't have the money. Why does he do some of it? Because he holds because he says, if I'm going to admit the whole thing, then he's going to ask me for the whole thing, which I don't have. So I'm going to push him off a little bit now, and then I'm going to pay him back. Right? So basically, the guy has a justification. Really, he wants to lie in the whole thing, but he doesn't have the chutzpah to do that. So what's he going to do? He says, okay, so I got to admit. If I admit the whole thing, I'm going to have to pay the whole thing now, so I don't have it. So I'll admit do that. Therefore, the Torah put a shvu on him, so that I'll be made in the whole thing. But that only applies to a loan. You can only say this by a loan. But by a pikadon, he will have the chutz, because by a pikadon, he's doing the guy a favor. Even if he's not doing a guy a favor, he's getting paid. But he didn't, meaning the guy that gave him the pikadon wasn't doing him a major favor, right? A loan, when you borrow something, the guy's doing you a big favor. But for a pikadon, it's not a big favor. So the guy, if he needs the pikadon or he took it and he doesn't have it yet, etc., then he's going to he'll totally deny it. So therefore, we don't say it by pikadon. Okay, fine. There you go. That's a quick omid. Fine. Tani Rami Bar Chama, Arba Shomrim. There's 4 Shomrim. This comes up in the 3rd parak, and also the 8th parak. So Arba Shomrim, there are 4 Shomrim, right? Then the Tzrichen Kfir b'Miktzas, V'Hoidah b'Miktzas. And in order for them to be chayav shvua, they need to be moed. They need to deny b'Miktzas, and then be moed b'Miktzas. Ve'eluhein, what are the 4 Shomrim? Shomer Chinam, he watches for free. Shayel, if he borrows. Noisei Sachar means he's watching and he's getting paid. He's a paid watchman, I think that's what they call it. Ba'asayir, and the guy rents it. So those are the 4. So all of those, if you want to be mechayev them ashvua, they have to be moed b'Miktzas. So Amar Rabba, my time at the Rambam B'chama. Where does Rambam B'chama get it from? So Shomer Chinam behed yiksibe. Like we said, Shomer Chinam, he was watching it for free. It says ki huzeh, because it says it's because this thing, right? This is what he's moed on, but there's other things that he's not. Shomer Sacher Yolef Nesina Nesin Shomer Chinam. So a Shomer Sacher we learn out Gzeira Shava from Shomer Chinam. Shoyel v'chi yishal vav ma'isef al inyan rishon, for a bar where the vav adds on to the first inyan. Seicher and the renter, so there's a machlokes whether a renter is like a noises sacher or a shomer chinam. So with either one, you already have a limit. Like we said, ilamad amar shomer sacher, hainu shomer sacher. Ilamad amar shomer chinam, hainu shomer chinam. Fine. So therefore, we go with that all these four shomer need to be made in order to be chayiv. Fine. Yosef hatayin tainas gana b'pikadon. Guy who is watching something and he says that it got stolen. He's not chayiv until he actually uses it. Meaning he's watching it for somebody. He's not supposed to use it, but he's watching it anyways. I mean, he uses it anyway. So now he's not, and then he says it was stolen. So he's not chayiv until he uses it. My time of a nikra balabayis elohim. He comes close to the judges, and he makes a shvur that he didn't use it. Right? So it's mashma. Then he is going to be chayiv. So it tells us that we're talking about where he uses it. Right? So he disagrees. He says that he's chayiv, right? Where the animal was by the avusa, and he's saying avusa by the trough, meaning he's chayiv to make the shvua, or he'd be chayiv and kefil, even if he didn't use it. So it's basically having a machlokes where they have to use it in order to be chayiv a shvua and or kefil. Fine. Some of it was a little dafka by medas alavusa kamma. That's dafka when it's aimed on the trough. But if he already he shalach bayad, he sent his hand out, meaning he used it, then he's kained. And the shvu is not going to help anything because he was already using it. Meaning this is his shiloh. Meaning, is that what he's saying? Meaning, if according to the shita that says that he's chayiv, even if it was standing by the avusa, by the trop, so then is it mashma that if he did use it, then he's kained and the shvua won't help? He's saying even if it's standing on the avusa, but for sure if he's shalach yad, right? And then he would be chayiv. So Amalei Zula Shamati, I didn't hear anything about that. But Kayotziba Shamati, I did hear something similar. If a guy tainas, first he says it got lost. V'nishba, and he swore that it got lost. Then he changed his mind. Then he goes and he says, okay, it didn't get lost. It got stolen. Ubo Adim, and then Adim came. So Potter is Potter, my timer. Lab mishum dekana b'shvur rishayna. Wasn't he kind with the shvur rishayna? And like we learned on Friday or Thursday, once he makes the shvur and he's kind, so then that's it. He doesn't make a second shvur. Again, this case is talking about where first he said it got lost, then he changed his mind and he said it got stolen. Right? So he made the shvur on the first one. So once he made the shvur, he's kind, so that's it. Right? So Amarle, so he said, "Loi, hoyel v'yotza yidei b'aylam b'shvua rishayna." The reason is because when he made that shvua, then he was yotza. He was already yotza his shvua, right? We said this also on Thursday or Friday stuff. Once he makes a shvua to the owner, so then he's already yotza with the owner, and that's it. Fine. So Idmar Nami, Amar Rav Aben, Amar Rav Eloi, Amar Rav Yochanan, Ataya and Tainas Aveda b'Bikodan. If somebody Tainas an Aveda by Bikodan v'Nishba, and he swears v'chazer v'tan, and he goes back and he has a tainas gneva v'nishba, and he swears ubo edim, and beit edim come potter, he's potter hoyel v'yotzi yidei bailim b'shvur rishayna. Since he's yotzi yidei bailim with his first shvur. Okay, so Amar of Sheshes, Atayin, Tainas Gana Bipikon, now continuing in all these dinim. Somebody who Tainas.
Excuse me, what does that mean? He's yoitza with the first. What does that mean? He's yoitza.
Yeah, this was something we didn't understand on Thursday. Meaning, once you're yoitza, or was it Friday? Was it Friday? I don't even know. All these cases are jelly in my head, right? he tained to the guy. Once he swore to the guy, then that's it. That's it. It's in lieu of payment. He says, "I'm done with you." Once he swears, he swears.
Okay.
Right. Once you swear to the guy, that's it. You swore instead of payment, and that's it. You're good to go. Which we didn't understand because Lamaisa, you swore to him, very nice, but you have his thing, right? You have his thing. Whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how that works. Someone of Sheshes. Atoyin tainas gana b'pikoden. Somebody who tainas that it was stolen by pikoden. Kivin sheshalach b'yad potter. Since he used it, he's potter. Right? Meaning why? Because he used it later. My timer. This is what the pasuk says. V'nikra balabayas elolihim im lo shalach yadai. The balabayas comes to the judges, and he says he didn't use it. Ha shalach yadai potter mashma, that if he did use it, so he's potter. Samalei Rav Nachman. So Rav Nachman said to him, 1 second. V'aloi shalosh shvuos mashpiyano. So we're going to see in Bava Metzia that when a watchman denies that he has the thing, we are mechayiv him to make 3 shvuos, right? Shvua shaloi pashati ba. He says a shvua that he was not a pesheya, right? That he didn't, meaning that he watched it properly. Shvua shaloi shalachti ba yad. A shvua that he didn't use it, and shvua she'ena b'rishusi. You also make a shvua that it's not in his rishus. So those are 3 shvuos. My love, shvua shaloi shalachti ba yad. Do me the shvua she'ena b'rishusi. We're going to compare the shvua that he didn't use it to the shvua that it's not in his rishus. Ma shvua she'ena b'rishusi. The shvua that's not in his rishus, kimigalia milsa de isa b'rishusi chayev. When it becomes revealed that it was in his rishus, so he's chayev cable because he lied straight out. He said it wasn't in his rishus and he got caught. So af shvua shaloi shalachta b'yad. So too a shvua that he didn't use it. Ki megalia milsa de shalach b'yad chayev. He's chayev now. Again, Rav Sheshes said that if it becomes revealed that he used it, so then he's potter. So, but here, if we compare it to the shvua she'ena b'rishusi, then he should be chayev. He says no. Shvua shaloi shalachti b'yad dumi de shaloi pashati ba. Right, a shvua that I didn't use it is similar to the shvua that he didn't. He wasn't peshe. It wasn't negligent. Ma shvua shaloi pashati ba. A shvua that he wasn't negligent. Ki megalia milsa de pasha ba potter mi kefil. There's no kefil there, right? Meaning, let's say the guy swore that he was negligent. He was not negligent, right? Meaning he made sure the door was locked at night in front of the animal, etc., etc. Then it comes out that he left the door open. So that's not kefil. He didn't steal it. He just was a pesheya, right? So therefore, there's no kefil. So the same way in that situation, there's no kefil. It's the same thing by the shvua that he didn't use it. When he was megala that he was a shalach bayad, he's potter from kefil, right? So therefore, we don't have a riot. We compare it to that one, and that's it. Okay, well, we can stop over there. It went faster than I thought. So I guess if the Olam doesn't mind, we can do a Mishnah before we say Tillim, right? Might as well. Does somebody stop the recording?